Oh, hello. Hey, how are you? We find ourselves in December, in the month of December, which is a lovely month for many reasons. But this particular December is the 200th birthday of George MacDonald. And so actually I think it's Tuesday. I think it's the 10th, December 10th. But there have been George MacDonald like that's a difficult word. Bicentenary. Anyway, 200th birthday celebrations all year long. Oh wait, here's my McDonald's shelf over here. I have some of the books are probably scattered around my apartment, but here's the Light Princess and the Golden Key and Fantastes and the Princess and the Goblin. This is definitely one of my favorites. I wrote a play adaptation of this one. Um, Christmas stories, those are some good ones. Lilith is amazing, mind blowing. These are some of David Jack's sort of translations of some of the Scottish novels, which so the parts that are in dialect, Doric. He has side by side translations, so you can have the original text, which is kind of why they're pretty large, because some parts will be like double the text. Um, but they are very good. That is a good way to read if you're uncomfortable with like, and it's especially if you read it out loud. It's not impossible to get the sense of the stuff in Scottish. Anyway, it's good to see you. I wanted to is that a good place for you to sit? Yeah. Yeah, so as I was saying, like all year long, there have been different celebrations. This month there is still this the sort of celebration or conference at Yale, very close to the actual birthday, the 10th, and there is the celebration at the Rabbit Room. I think both of those you can see online. So I'll give you the links if you're interested in just trying to connect from a distance. That's what I think I will be doing. Um, yeah, but I the one that I've been most involved with, or that I was most involved with, was back in the spring at Wheaton University. We had a bicentenary conference and celebration there. So I presented a paper on light verse. I've had a friend help make notes on this because I want to revise it and maybe get it um, published eventually. Uh, so McDonald has some great light verse, and which is I don't know how it's hard to define light verse, but like as a type of poetry that really is the type of poetry that I write. And I have some of it printed out here, the pieces that I found from McDonald's work. I kind of want to read you a bit. I'm trying to think what's. Oh, this is one of my favorite ones, called A Dream Song, or at least in some places it's called that. The stars are spinning their threads, and the clouds are the dust that flies, and the suns are weaving them up for the time when the sleepers shall rise. The ocean in music rolls, and gems are turning to eyes, and the trees are gathering souls for the day when the sleepers shall rise. The weepers are learning to smile, and laughter to glean their sighs, burn and bury and care and guile for the day when the sleepers shall rise. Oh, the dews and the moths and the daisy red, the larks and the glimmers and flows, the lilies and sparrows and daily bread, and the something that nobody knows. Anyway, there's a lot of. I think MacDonald is not commonly thought of as a poet, but he frequently includes poetry throughout his works and wrote quite a lot of it. And some of it I find very good. That means a lot to me personally, anyway. I'm looking through what other souvenirs I have from the conference. This was Danny Gableman's talk. He gave us all papers to doodle on and then make paper airplanes out of, and then we all had to throw them. And so this was somebody else's doodle at the conference. I actually don't know whose, and theoretically somebody else has mine. I can't remember what I did mine like. But that was he was definitely talking about playfulness in MacDonald. And yeah. Oh, another sort of playful thing we got to do. We did a play, sort of a. It's hard to say whether it's the reading. Well, we were reading from our scripts because we didn't like have time to all like memorize our lines, especially because I ended up being the narrator. Um, and that would have been a lot of dialogue last minute. But we did the story of the Light Princess, and this was Joe Ricky's script that he has written, which shortens the story a little bit, and also kind of adds a little bit from. This is a story that was published. Oops, there's other stuff in here too. Oh, that's cool. Oh yeah, there's another story. I like that story. That's not related though. So the Light Princess. Oh, and this is the one with the illustrations by Ned Bustard, and they're pretty great. Those woodcuts. Um, but yeah, it's a beautiful fairy tale about a princess who loses her gravity. Uh, and I won't say too much more about it, but it was really fun to do with other people at the conference where we got to play the different parts, and it's a good funny story, but also has some really great depth to it. Um, that I enjoy a lot. Oh, and this copy, I think Kirsten gave it to me as one of the volunteers, as like a volunteer gift, at the end, and yeah. Oh, one of the other things I did at the conference was and this is the first time I've done anything like this, was doing an art gallery. So I am an artist. I do sculpture, mostly. There's a little guy I made. Um, and I also do like plasticine art, and that's well that was with that's the kind that bakes solid, and plasticine kind of stays soft. Um, yeah. Molly and I, my friend Molly, Molly does this art. This is a card that she sent me. Um, sort of set up this art gallery together, and we asked a variety of artists who were interested in George MacDonald to contribute, and it was called Harmonious Confusion, which says a small art spectacle for the George MacDonald Bicentenary, featuring a unique showing of miniature works from a variety of artists who have been deeply moved by the works of George MacDonald. For this exhibition, each artist has taken inspiration from the same selection of MacDonald quotations and brought them to life in a variety of mediums and styles. So that was a really cool thing to be a part of. It was a lot of work, and there's a lot of confusion, and like getting the artwork and getting it displayed, getting in touch with people, and following up with them. I actually did sell most of my pieces, which is was kind of exciting. But this is the one that I still have, and yeah, there it is, the fairy with the dandelion. Um, or Daisy rather. Actually, that's very important. The flowers are very important in MacDonald. Um, yeah. So we were able to get some of the art from Steve Hesselman's copy of the Golden Key. We were able to get printed and put up with Steve's permission, which is just also a very beautiful book. And we had several other artists. Oh, and some of I think Ned Bustard's illustrations as well. Got to be included in the gallery. And then we had a bunch of other artwork that was made specifically for this. So that was some of Molly's more abstract stuff. There was, my friend, this is one of the pieces that one of my friends contributed. And it's from like The Princess and the Goblin with like the thread and the pigeon. And that might be the Rose Fire. Anyway, this is one of my favorite pieces, so I bought this one. Yeah. Anyway, all around, that was a really exciting thing to be a part of, and I'm so glad that we did that. Every time that it felt like it was getting out of our hands, we just kind of remembered Harmonious Confusion became, the title of it became an encouragement to us that we're just kind of going to go with it and like find the harmony in the confusion. And it ended up being something really beautiful, and I'm really glad we did. I feel like I learned a lot going through that. It was really an amazing weekend. I met a lot of friends who I'd only known online. I made a lot of new friends and just had a really beautiful time together. It was Oh, and on the last day, or on the day, it was the day maybe right after. I got to go to Jerry Root's house where where Malcolm Guite was staying, and some other people that I knew, and we got to do a video together, a little bit about George MacDonald, a little bit about books and Lewis and others, and Jerry Root gave us all shot glasses after to commemorate that. We got I got to share one of my poems, which was really exciting for me, and yeah. Altogether, it was just it was a really beautiful time. Oh, and I'm wearing the T-shirt we had for that conference. It's also Molly's design. Um, huh, yeah. So it's been a year to reflect on what MacDonald means to me as an author, and to celebrate that with other friends and with the community of people who appreciate George MacDonald. Um, yeah, just to dig a little bit deeper into his works and to hear other people's perspectives, which also helps to draw me deeper into those things. It's been it's been a good year. It's been a good way to mark 200 years of George MacDonald, and here's to 200 more.